Shattered Glass, inspired by Star Trek episode Mirror Mirror, is a universe created by fan publication for the sake of the many stories and toys. Its whole idea is a mirror universe where characters keep most of the same characteristics and personalities, but they have twisted morals and changed designs. But to populate the world they need a bunch of designs, and sadly not all of them can be made as new toys with new color schemes. So to combat that, the fan publication decided to reuse and repurpose a lot of color schemes and toys as new versions of old characters. In today's video, let's look at the repurposes and reuses in the first Shattered Glass media, the uber 90s stylized April Fool's Shatter Expectations comic. Shattered Expectations was released on April 1st of 2008. It's a short joke comic that was supposed to be a sneak peek at the upcoming Mirror universe and a celebration of many different BotCon exclusive toys. The point of this series is not to summarize the plot of the series, for that we have the world of side stories, but to talk about the designs in them. But with this comic being only 3 pages, I will make an exception. The comic begins with the 3 characters hidden in shades, sneaking through some secret laboratory. After turning on the light, we see it's Goldbug, Jazz, and Grimlock. Goldbug is the new identity taken by a sneaky thief named Bumblebee, after an upgrade given to him after he joined the Autobot Seekers. The original toy of Goldbug was a retool of Cybertron Hotshot, with a new G1 Goldbug inspired head sculpt. Here we could suggest his colors are based on the movie Stealth Bumblebee, but I think it's either just colors of a real bee or just generic evil colors. Grimlock in this comic is portrayed as a posh and highly intelligent, as a comedic reverse of his positive universe caveman-like self. Later comics would turn him back into a mindless rage machine, just to turn him back into the more intelligent being, thanks to him getting energy from Shattered Glass universe version of Vector Sigma, only returning to his beastly nature if angered. His 2008 BotCon toy is a redeco of Classics Grimlock in a new Triptychon-inspired color scheme. Another interesting trivia about him is that Optimus says that he wishes to have 1,000 more like Grimlock, which is a reference to Megatron saying the same thing about Bruticus. Jazz is the bodyguard of Optimus Prime, and this comic gives him a mannerism and speech patterned after the TV actor and wrestler Lawrence Trude, known better to public as Mr. T. Quoting his catchphrases, Jazz's toy is a retool of Cybertron Crosswise with a new head based on G1 Jazz. As you can see, the toy itself is mostly just G1 Jazz, just with some details changed, like the text Martini being replaced by Massacre, and those 2 comedically evil eyebrows on the front. From what I remember, the reason the BotCon team did that is that at the time there was no Classics Jazz toy, so just in case they decided to make a Jazz that could work as either Shattered Glass and his G1 self. After turning on the light, the evil Autobots find a bunch of pretenders marinating in some tubes. From left to right we see the shells of Grimlock, Bumblebee and Jazz, with the shell of Starscream in the background. Sadly, since they are pickling, we don't see any color differences on them, so we don't know if they look the same or differently than their positive universe counterparts. On the next page we see that Starscream and Razorclaw appear to protect their tech, with Grimlock being ordered to fight them off. As a person, Starscream is the main scientist and second in command of the Decepticons. It's probably really obvious that this Starscream fully believes Megatron is great at his position of being a Decepticon leader, and only he can fully lead the Decepticons to victory. He is ready to always support him, even in his moments of self-doubt. Starscream is a redeco of his Cybertron Voyager class self in colors inspired by his G1 partner Jetfire, being red and white. In the Shattered Glass universe, Razorclaw was a professor of science at Tyrest University, but when the Decepticons attacked his campus, he needed to escape to the Magnase Mountain with his students, where they taught themselves to survive as ultimate hunters, naming themselves the Predacons. The comic explains that the reason for his diminished size is the effect of a shrink ray. As a toy, Razorclaw is a redeco of Overbite in this mustard gold color with orangey details. I don't think this design has any deep references, they just took the only animal mode they had and put them in Predacon orange. For other references we have Starscream mentions the Quintessence Federation. Later in the main universe series we would see Quintessence being good guys in this universe. And the tanks in the background we can see the unreleased double pretenders. The gorilla one, later named Oilmaster, and the unnamed spider one. As the Decepticons are losing, Razorclaw activates a communicator, signaling for the arrival of the Mayhem Suppression Squad, a mirror-verse concept part of Decepticons' Mayhem Attack Squad, which is something like the Decepticon counterpart of the Wreckers, and man, this page has a lot of people on it. In the background we have Astrotrain, the main transport method of the team. He's honorable and brave. This toy is a repurposing of the Timeline's Astrotrain. That's an Astrotrain themed redeco of Armada Jetfire with a new head. We also see his two loyal Micromaster partners, Tailwind and Stonecruncher, who are repurposed from Astrohook and Astroline, who were redecos of the Giant Planet Minicon team that were also added to the Timeline's Astrotrain. It's also good to note that Stonecruncher appears later in the series. He is the one on the left, as his G1 self, with colors based on another Micromaster named Barrage. After that we see nanoscopic specs that are supposed to be Seawing, Overbite, Snaptrap and Tentacle. They are so tiny it's hard for me to see if they are based on anything. Maybe the Beast Wars second pirates, cause Seawing has yellow wings? But Snaptrap is still pink. I don't know. After that we have Thundercracker in front. Thundercracker is one of the founding members of the team, and all over a friendly guy. His special ability is Sonic Dampening, which can make anything around him in the range of 50 meters silent. His colors are based on the lovely ISO that's the Europe exclusive G1 Action Master Thundercracker, while his body is just the classic Seeker mold. Over him we have Bugbite, based on the BotCon exclusive toy, just with purple colors replaced with red, and with an eye patch, mustache and a British accent. Pose is also based on the one Sideswipe did in the first issue of the G2 comic. In the top right corner we have Laserbeak, characterized in the main series as a total hipster. That's a redeco of his G1 cassette self, but in Ramhorn colors. This version of Laserbeak is a redeco of Energon Dive Bomb, in colors of Armada Laserbeak. On the front we have Colonel Deathsaurus, using the mold of Reed 2001 Megatron, with colors that are based on his anime rival Starsaber, while the pose he's pulling off is based on the one Bludgeon had in the G2 comic Tales of the Earth. And I kept this for last since it's a pretty big one. Dej. A sunny and smiling optimist, determined to see the bright side in everything. Even when other things there is nothing to be seen. In the comic, he's a pretender with a suit based on the BotCon Dirge that's pulling off the pose Octopunch did in Tales of LG2 comic. The Dirge suit is based on the descending evil Chromia, emerging from it, spreading some weird goop. There's yellow redeco of Classics Dirge, referencing the Beast Wars second thrust, that's pulling off the pose Ramjet did in Tales of the Earth Part 3. Yeah, this pic not only references all three cone heads in some way, it's also a giant reference to G2 and BotCon media. As written on TF Wiki, he's a sextuple homage. The comic ends with Deathsaurus simply screaming April Fools as he attacks with his team. Later after that, the fans would really like this idea, but they weren't fans that this comic wasn't canon and the characters that actually appeared in the series had a bit different personalities, but maybe we'll talk about that in the future. Thank you all for watching, remember to like, subscribe, check out my videos, and if you want to see me talk about more Shatterglass inspirations, repurposes and homages, comment below. Bye!